I think.
I have like 27 recordings for you there.
The, I don't know if there's any liability to that or not. It's kind of like if you have a thing, if you, otherwise, then yeah, but so then the solution is remove it, just get rid of it, then there's no problem. And does that just wipe out every one of those ones that was already filed? Because the code that is the basis of the complaint doesn't exist anymore. Can you even do that? I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah, the same deal, when you're looking at trash, there's been plenty of trash nuisances that have not been enforced in this county.
Sure.
And those are the ones I think are the biggest problem that we're dealing with, that I'm trying to say is what's taking the majority of a facilitator's time.
Well, I would say that's the most expensive as far as abatement. I wouldn't say it is, like you have zoning issues where there is no solution without changing. Like if you have, folks that have a second dwelling on a parcel, there's no way to fix it. There is no way. And then that's the one that you put and that's what we've done before. You file the notice of non-compliance.
Yep.
It's like, we're not gonna go down and tear somebody's house down.
But if something happens to it and you try to apply to replace it, you won't get approved.
You won't get approved.
It's legal non-conforming.
Is this new facilitator the one that's putting it on that title, or are you doing it?
No, I don't think, I think this is not, many of these functions don't belong in the building department. And in a sense, they weren't in the building department, they were in the code compliance department, which happened to be housed in the building department, but it could have been housed anywhere, it didn't matter.
It just needed a director.
It needed a director, and it was like, okay, that's,
Well,
and whenever it was created.
The biggest section, that's why it probably went there.
Probably why it went there, but it could go anywhere.
Say my understanding is when it was written, the person in that department wanted it.
Right. We don't get those very often. Yeah, please give it to me.
Give me the pain.
Give me the pain. Yes, I love it. So
I guess the first question would be,
What do we do
what are
after
we
July
going to
1st?
do
Yeah.
immediately right now, June 1st?
I think
And
we
I've
have,
already spoken that we need to postpone or pause or cancel or whatever.
right, I would extend, I would support that, but I also don't want to extend it without, because one thing about the deadline is it puts pressure on us to do something. We need to, I don't
And
want this to be like the debt ceiling limit. at
COVID
the
is
federal
lightening
level.
up, so you don't extend it another 6 months because of that. per
No, we
se.
can't say that.
So exactly.
So we have to say we're doing it because we are, contemplating restructure the whole program, and we're not ready to go yet. And so, we need more time, and that's why there is nothing because at this point, COVID expires, we restart it, it's restarted the way it was. We don't even have a staff person.
Right.
So effectively, nothing would happen.
Well, that's what I'm
anyway.
saying. I don't want to hire one either
No.
because we don't have.
We don't know what we're
to
even gonna
actually
do.
do their job correctly.
Right.
And right now their office is taken up with my temporary archiving person.
So I guess the easiest thing, my perspective, COVID is not a valid reason, and I would need a valid reason in order to extend it. For me, the simplest thing is to let it expire, to let Lynn act as the one that takes, the complaint and then shuffles it off to where it needs to go. And so, because about a quarter or half of them are going to have to go through anyways, just based on the overall numbers. But then the rest of it, and then we work through it as we need. And if Lynn's completely swamped, we hire someone in there to manage it. But right now, we just kind of go with the new stuff that's coming on board that we can deal with. If we need to put, like with zoning, the certificate of non-compliance, I mean, that is what it
How
is.
time consuming is that?
To do the non-compliance,
Yeah.
that part in itself is easy. It's all the correspondence you send out and document
Right.
prior to
All
filing.
the
it.
hoops you gotta jump through in order to do that.
We send out.
Because it really has to be the last resort.
Exactly.
You have
We
to give
send
them
out,
every opportunity, and then they get so many days to respond, and then you send it
Exactly,
again, and then
right.
they can And if they respond, then they get another set of time. And
The
these are not
city-
our rules, these are
Right.
state laws. So it's
City has
not,
about
we can't just
3
suspend the laws because they're inconvenient.
Yeah, Cindy has a set of about 3 correspondence letters, you know, letting them know it's getting closer. Okay, this is your last straw. Okay, it happened. I mean, it's a series. We don't
But
just,
Cindy's sending that out, right?
on building permit ones, on
Right.
building permit related
Right.
ones. Mhm.
But so you already have somebody, so it's not you having to send all that and do the,
Not code enforcement, no. The code enforcement would do their own. But the ones that we do, with my example of, you didn't follow through on your permit stuff,
Right.
and therefore, then those are done by Cindy. But the code enforcement ones, those were being done by the code enforcement officer. Because they had slightly different verbiage. From,
can we give that slightly different verbiage to Cindy and let her do that as well? On those ones? I mean, how many do
I
we
mean,
have out
we
there?
could,
And
But as
slowly
far
work our way
as-
through the book.
yeah, but as far as, you know, busyness of staff overall right now, I mean, Rebecca, Cindy, all of us are very, very busy with the number of permitting and everything.
But I'm gonna hear the exact same thing from planning. I'm gonna hear
Exactly.
The exact same thing from all the rest of them, that we're
Yeah.
already busy. Well, if we had, you know, a code compliance officer, they're gonna have to be doing all the same work with the department heads doing the same thing. Or with, you know, staff within those departments. So either way, the work's gonna have to be done within each department. As, you know, environmental health had to deal with, like, yeah, you're gonna have to do it, because if we hired a code compliance officer, they can't go out there and look at the septic and say, yeah, it doesn't work.
Because they're the ones that are the expert on their topic.
Precisely. And if you have to send 3 letters and all that, sometimes housing that within that department makes more sense, because then it's not a game of telephone, like, did you send the letter? Did you not send the
Exactly.
letter? It's
Did I
whoever
use the
goes out-
right RCW? Did I, you know?
Yeah.
That's the part about the facilitator that I don't like, is he's the guy playing telephone.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
know, Kavanaugh or Avery tells him something, and then he tells the landowner, and I hope he said it right. You know, and I just don't like that at all.
But we also.
I don't like that either, but I also don't like the citizen is gonna get bounced around, and there is nobody, because you can always say, no, I think that's a health issue, you need to call them, and health goes, no, I don't think so, I think that's a planning issue, you need to call them. Oh, no, that's a building part, you know, people have gone the full
Well,
circle.
that's why I'm fine with giving it, all the phones ring to one place, and that person dictates.
But how is that any different than it is now? Now they ring to her,
Because then,
those things that are supposed to be, you are supposed to be handing them off now.
right, but it just wasn't ever that way, and it was always coming back to me, back to me, back to me. And it's like now, if it's, okay, I take it in and I say, here you go, it's
Okay.
yours, you assign a number to it and deal with it.
If
Okay,
they
this
got a
one
problem,
is
then I think they
yours.
give it to us, yeah.
Well, I guess that's
Because
really
otherwise
the
it was
solution
like,
is that, because I
I
think
logged
that's
it,
the
gave it to
way.
you, you come
But
back
we
to
need to
me.
get those departments, if that's gonna be a problem, so that everybody understands the expectation.
Yep.
It's not your thing, it's if it's a zoning issue, if it's a planning issue, it's gonna go to planning, and you are taking this over and you're gonna handle it. You don't get to just pass, say, no, I don't really, or here's the information, tell them this.
Oh,
It's
And
like,
that's
no,
what it-
This isn't
yeah.
my thing, you do it.
And that
No.
takes a lot
right,
of.
back and forth. I'm fine with that. I think
Right,
that
that's what I'm
will
saying,
work,
those
as long as
departments-
because it is different. Before, we had a compliance officer, and they were the one ultimately responsible. They were supposed to be coordinating and getting information and
Which
doing
they,
all that stuff.
which they did, and it always still came back to us to do all the correspondence
Right.
and all the this and all
Okay.
of that. And that's a lot
We
of
just
time,
need
a
to
lot of time. And then on the old
essentially-
ones,
tell each of those other departments what is expected of them now under
Right.
this new guidance.
and then we don't do abatement, I guess, is where
For
we
now,
are
until
at.
we figure it out.
Yeah.
But then that's what I guess a resolution needs to say, or whatever for after July 1st.
Well, I think
Otherwise-
trash and solid waste stuff can go to solid waste with
There might
understanding
be
that
some of it that they can do.
they may be able to
Hmm.
do some of it, but like the big abatement, and it's, yeah, right now, because we don't really have a solution for that part of it. And that's where all the money is.
But what I don't like is having something out there saying we can't do it, because there's things that we came across that, you know, I got involved with it, like that it needed to be done. You need to find something like on the septic, because our prosecuting attorney was saying, hey, it says you guys signed this ordinance, it says you can't do anything. And you've got septic running down the road, and you're like, well, we can't do anything, really? And so I don't like it when we say.
Well, no, I would say don't say anything. I mean, we
Right.
don't, we
Let it
always
expire.
limited, like our thing said, we will do abatements if they qualify. We've never done, because it was always, as we had resources, we chose the most, you know, egregious ones, and we did 3 or 4 of them. Well, we had 12 in line, but we did 3 or 4. That doesn't mean we said we're not doing any of them, or we're only doing 3 or 4. It's like we budget, and I think maybe that's what we go back to, is that we set a dollar figure and we work our way. We get as far down, whatever the most one is with those dollars, and then the next one, we have to wait to the next budget cycle. And then that's the limiting factor. Yeah, because I agree. You don't say we're not doing it.
Right.
Because I don't think you can say that.
But then I wouldn't deal with abatements.
No.
That would be whomever's
What is being abated?
RCW, et cetera.
Right.
Unless they're abating a chicken coop. that was unpermitted.
Right, but then that's permitted or,
Yeah, it's permitted or not permitted, right?
yeah, I mean,
We could probably fix that.
You turned into short-term rental.
That's what I understand. The direction we're headed, served with trucked water.
I'm not on that one,
I got
but
2 more comments about that this
Oh.
weekend, by the way.
I route to health for that one.
Yeah, route to health. Good answer.
So who will draft verbiage for after July 1st? I didn't do the other verbiages,
No.
so,
Are we gonna do a verbiage, or do we just wanna let that expire like Jake said, let it expire?
I know, but if it expires, it goes back to what was there.
right.
It's a
Right.
suspension, and we don't want what was there unless it's what's there with a,
Wait.
no, because what's there has a code compliance officer.
Correct.
Well, we're gonna have to work on rebuilding the code compliance.
Because right now it's hanging out there with Title XX.
Right.
Well, and that's what I would say I would get with the prosecutor in full code compliance that he has sitting on his desk, because if we're redoing it again, I really don't want him wasting his time looking at it now.
And then how are we doing it so that we know what to draft?
I guess 2 things. Number 1, we need to say, because it's taken a while for them to get to, which ones are more, of the 3 we gave them code compliance, STRs, and the RV. Which one's most important? Should we work on first?
I don't think we have nuisance fixed, because I think we just opened up the can of worms.
Okay,
again.
so short-term rentals or the RV, which one should they be looking at first?
Doesn't matter either way. I mean,
Probably short.
I would say which one has more complaints.
All right,
RVs.
so RV, then short-term rental, then, and we'll work on code compliance, since they haven't read it anyways. Maybe you and I can chat and work our way through something. Does that sound good, so we can move on?
So I think we're moving towards the right direction. So if we
We're always moving.
need to have another one of these or whatever to finish off that part of it, I don't know that we're ever gonna find the actual solution to, do we have a person? How do we pay for the cleanups? That's a whole nother thing that we're gonna have to figure out budget wise, or if we start getting new tax revenues, squirreling money away.
Well, it could be. I mean, I will remind us that we have historically funded a code compliance officer, and we funded abatements. That was not, this isn't like a new budget item. It's stuff that we've always budgeted for. It was just that we had, here's what the need and here's what we've always budgeted. It wasn't that it was new money. It was, the question was, are we gonna bring this up to do this?
Because the cost got so great that,
So, or
yeah.
are we just gonna, we always just budgeted $20,000, $25,000 for abatement, and that usually got us to
One big one, a couple
one big one and a
small.
couple little ones,
Yeah,
and
but if
that's,
you
we
didn't
just
pay
did
for
them.
a facilitator, you could have 10 abatements.
Could be, right. Right, and I'm not opposed to that. I'm not saying that. I'm not.
It's just weighing all the options.
Right.
I said, that I think is the tricky part we still need to work out. The rest of it with delegating the responsibilities, I think we have. We just need to figure out the verbiage to do it.
And maybe what we can try to do is make things like, solid waste did that online form for if you see trash or something along the road. And
See, now you're getting to my new website.
oh no, this is a Google form application. This isn't a whole new website. This isn't $1 million Cadillac. This is no gold-plated toilet. This is a Google form to help people be able to put it in there so we know where it needs to go and whatever. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna.
Okay, I don't think we're gonna solve the rest of that
Okay.
now, so.
Did we answer her last question on who's writing the new resolution or whatever?
That's not what I heard was that Commissioner Anderson is gonna visit,
That's
and
right.
chat
Okay,
with Lynn.
And come up with verbiage.
works for me.
Unless you want
Did I
to.
do that last
Don't
one?
carry the way.
I think you did, yeah. I think you did the two that we've had so
The
far.
safest bet for you guys would be to
I
leave
can
me out
send
of
them to
that.
you just so you've got the.
That would work. So then we'll
Otherwise she'll
decide.
come back and you go, no, no,
No,
no,
what
no.
were you thinking?
Commissioner Anderson and I will work on verbiage then and of what to do after July 1st.
July 1st.
Pending more
Pending
discussions.
more discussion.
Yes. All right.
And yeah, we talked to the prosecutor, so we don't waste his time on that.
Okay. I'll email them and say,
Never mind.
yeah, never mind on this one. We've got more work to do.
Does Rebecca do
Short-term rental.
civil or does she do?
RVs.
I think she mostly does civil, but maybe, and maybe only, but I thought,
That was where I was wondering, what else do they have on the civil side?
A lot of planning issues.
Is it a lot of that?
yeah. Yeah, there's a hearing coming up that we heard
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
All right. Anything else for me?
No, I think we're
All
good.
right.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
I will try, you too. And it's Lori's turn. All right. Thank you.
Okay, next up, we're almost right back on time.
A little off on grid.
He's not coming.
Oh, look at that.
So that, no, I knew that ahead of
Yeah,
time, so I was using that time as it was. Prosecuting attorney, pending issues update, some of which may qualify for executive session. Mr. Cannell, do you have any wish or desire to have a discussion with the board on anything?
I don't have anything in particular right now.
Okay, any questions?
Were you on for that last discussion on the 3 different things that Lynn had sent over, Q?
Bits and pieces of it. The internet connection with the county is going in and out, but we do have a few pages of comments that we're prepared to send on here in the next day or two. The gist is that I think we need to start over, but we'll send a few pages of substantive comments on to Lynn and copy the board on that.
Okay,
Sounds good.
Thank
Some of
you.
those like that, I think it would be wise and better timely to have the prosecutor sitting in on them. So as we're writing, he's like, yeah, no. And we're not spinning our wheels.
Yeah, did you mean that on all 3, Q, or was that for code compliance?
We're finding issues with all 3.
Oh. Well, that's fine.
okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Miss Anderson, come on up.
As he was saying, the internet connection was a little off, so I wasn't sure where you were on your
A little?
agenda, so
Just
just a little.
perfect, a lot of little.
So, we want to talk Wishram for a
Okay.
minute or two. And I have some very simple maps, if you would. Because I think we understand the general plan, but then it became a little more complicated.
Oh,
when
it
you-
always does.
Yes.
It seems so simple.
So I know the original goal was to rezone everything in the urban exempt area, and the urban exempt is, sorry, there's a lot of lines on here, but it's the dash thicker red line.
Okay.
And then what we found in the Heights area in orange, that is the area that's most likely going to be developed. And that's where the one family, the Churchwells
Right.
are.
I'm gonna pause you. Where is the Indian section?
That's that big thing right there.
That's right in the middle of this thing here?
Yes,
It's in the heights.
that's this parcel here.
The
This
Gorge
big,
View.
this
Multiple
one.
parts.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
So the orange that's north of the highway is a likely area
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
would be rezoned
No.
or have
Those are
development.
those lots.
And
Yeah, that whole thing there.
there's 6 parcels there. One is a tiny parcel with the PUD well. The others are more residential lots. And one of the larger ones is split zoning currently. Then as you move south, there's the purple, and that is Nate Kaiser and Otis Smith. And we've reached out to their families and different people and really got no response. But right now, their cattle are, grazing and feeding and all this stuff. So if we were to rezone that area in purple, we'd have split zoning, which is something we're trying to avoid because we are trying to be more consistent with zoning following property lines than just
Yeah, but this isn't property, this is like state boundaries in essence.
Right. So then we go down to our last little bit, and that's the blue area. And that's actually, as you'll see with the aerial photo, it's pretty much water or property in water. So there's that lake there. I can't remember, is it like Dump? Or
They call it Dump Lake.
Yes, yes.
I'm sure that's
I'm
not
sure
its
it-
official title. but-
Exactly. So I'm just using the language I've learned from
What are
the
you
citizen.
talking about? Oh, that's it?
Yeah, so I
Okay,
don't
is
know
that
if-
its own parcel?
The whole lake isn't. It's actually divided between Burlington Northern and then Northwest Storage has a
Tie.
little, has a
Tie
little swap there. So we kind of want a direction if you indeed want us to rezone the lake. And these larger parcels that have split zoning or just concentrate on that area north side of the highway where the initial interest and stuff came from.
Well, I guess that's my question. Is the purple area available to be rezoned later in 5 years if we choose to do it?
Yes, I would think that that option's always out there.
So since they're not too highly motivated, yeah. why not
Yeah, I
just
mean, we
focus on the
could
line?
kind of just deal with the part where
Where's
there's,
it currently zoned?
Open space.
Who owns it orange, by the way?
There's 6 different parcels. I believe there's 4 different landowners, the very small
yeah,
ones,
we
the
got it over there.
PUD, and then Churchwell, and another gentleman owns, I believe, 2 of the lots.
Well, I guess my issue, my thing is gonna be is no matter what, you've already got split zoning on that, Nate
Yes.
Kaiser. So, I mean, this is what's available inside the area of Wishroom that's outside the
scenic
scenic
area.
area. And if it's in Wishroom, I just put it like the zoning everywhere else. And include everything in that little swath, and if they don't want to develop it and leave it farm ground forever, that's fine.
Right.
It's in a current, it's in.
It's in current, is it in
It's in
current
current
use?
use.
So it doesn't make
As long as
one
they
affect
restrict the
their,
current use ag or something, yeah. might as
no,
well.
the zoning, because they've got part of it, like you said, it's split zone now.
Correct.
So we're not actually creating any more
More
split
splitting.
zone, we're
Yeah.
just adjusting it to the urban area boundaries, which is more consistent with
If
the,
anything, but we've got this zoning that goes north. that's
Yeah.
zoning, so we should bring that down so it's inside our area, our jurisdiction.
You're saying the northerly portion in the scenic area that's zoned rural center, you would want us to,
yeah.
is
So
that what?
this is everything here, right, is all of it. So make the zoning follow the line. Just make it follow the line. So that, right now,
Right.
this is zoned up there, but
So you'd want us to reduce that rural center down to there.
to what we
And
have.
that-
And that would be
Jurisdiction.
consistent, but that's,
Right,
I wonder what's gonna happen.
yeah, when we tell the national scenic area that we're rezoning property within. I mean,
No, we're
I think
rezoning.
you took my pen.
Oh, that was yours?
I'm sorry. I just
That's
realized
right, I
don't
left
have
the
one.
wrong thing.
Oh, here, thank you.
Well, other than it,
But it's
was that
their
zoning already, it's there, what's their
It's their
zoning?
zoning, not ours.
Well, our zoning is there and it's been there before the
Before the scenic area came over the top of it, but they don't actually recognize our zoning anyway,
Correct.
outside the urban area.
So,
It doesn't really
So
matter.
you couldn't build on that anyway.
No, 'cause you wouldn't-
Suck it
So
down.
that's true, you're not actually taking anything away because they don't have it now.
Right, I'm
It
just
was-
saying.
yeah,
for
to
our
clean it up,
maps,
yeah.
Only deal with what we have
Okay.
legitimate authority. over.
Yeah, I would agree.
okay, and then also on the east end, there's some rural center zoning that is outside of the urban exempt. So we should, I'm assuming from what you're saying, we should clean that up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Might as well clean stuff up.
Yang and Klickitat River Enterprises, yeah. Because they have to go through.
Them.
Scenic
before-
area anyway,
area.
unless there's some reason that we can't think of that gives them some,
Grandfather clause. or
right,
something.
because of the zoning. I don't think so, though. I think anything that was, because anything that they tried to do with it after 1986 would have had to be in compliance with scenic area zoning. Anything that was there before,
Right,
they could replace it. It would be a pre-act use, which you could continue. So it really wouldn't change anything. I don't think you would be taking anybody's rights away from you can only do what you can
Cleaning
do.
up
You're just cleaning up lines. Because it's, again, consistent, because why do we have zoning that's outside that doesn't meet the,
And zoning that's inside that we don't have zone
that
correctly.
we don't have zoning
Okay.
correctly? Yeah,
and then there's also this portion here that we would zone.
Yep. Really?
yeah.
Okay,
So we just took something simple and made it much simpler.
well,
Everything inside
the
line and
end
nothing
result could
outside
be.
the line.
The end
simple.
result will be simple. It's like the line to
Getting there
line.
might be a
Yeah.
little,
And it gives us a justification for getting there,
right,
a fair and equal across the board.
okay. Okay, I think we have a mission or a goal.
All this shows me is that when they drafted the Scenic Act, they didn't care what our zoning was.
Not at all.
Because otherwise,
also did
they
not-
should have came and they should have drawn their line where our existing
Or at
lines
least
were.
close. Some of these are so,
Did
yeah.
you know that the nation bought this property?
No.
Remember that gentleman who came
Yeah.
in?
Actually, I had heard that, or, yeah,
Okay,
I did actually, now that I think about it. I don't know if they bought it or he gave it to him. But it changed hands.
Okay, I think we have direction, so I shall go forth and,
Do good things.
yes, of course.
Get that all fixed up.
small portion of
Yeah.
it.
Tomorrow, right?
Whip that right out, have it on consent on Tuesday. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll work on that.
Yeah, you can set the process starting. next
Yes.
Tuesday.
That will work. Well, thank you and have a good afternoon. y'all.
Yes. you too.
Okay,
Is your pool open?
yes,
Everything going okay?
well, yes, very, well, we opened on the 21st, very cold weather. And then suddenly this weekend, oh my lord,
Right.
very hot weather.
Oh, good. We should have lost customers.
But we have our capacity at 124 and we didn't exceed that, so we're good.
Good.
Yes, so, good. But later in the week, it'll be back down in the 70s, so who knows what will end up. But yes, we are swimming. Swimming lessons, not yet, because we can't touch the kids, basically.
Oh,
Unless there's an emergency, but hopefully with the governor's releasing some regulations by the end of the month.
yeah, swim lessons.
That is the goal. Well, have a good afternoon. Thank you.
All right, you as well. Board pending.
I got nothing.
You know, anything you want? Your eyes are so.
We've done enough damage.
I think we've done enough damage for the day. Okay, well, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and a second to adjourn the regular meeting. We have no workshop scheduled. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. 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 Motion passed. We are adjourned.